Hey, Evolvers, I'm finally back. And it feels so good to be here with you. I took a little break, a much needed break, but we're here and it feels good. So, welcome back to Evolving with Tina. If you are new here, this is the space where we keep it real, raw, and honest. Straight up truth about life, healing, and becoming the woman you are meant to be. Because let's be honest, growth isn't always pretty, but it's definitely worth it. So I want you to grab your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's get into today's episode. Why pausing isn't a setback, it's part of the process. And sometimes choosing to rest is the bravest way you can keep evolving. So let me start with this. Have you ever noticed how quick we are to celebrate showing up, but how guilty we feel the moment we need to step back? Like, we'll clap for consistency, but the second we take a breath, it feels like failure. Because that's where I found myself recently. I had to take my own advice. Because I'm always saying women need to show up for themselves, even when it's hard, because we do. We really, really do. And the truth is, so often we're the ones putting ourselves last on the list. And sometimes we're not even on the list at all. But I had to remind myself that for 26 weeks straight, I showed up here for you and for me, without fail, every single week. Because I promised myself I would put out an episode every week for a full year. Because I have started and stopped so many things in my life, and I wanted this time to be different. I wanted to prove to myself that I could follow through, and for half a year, I did. I kept that promise. But then life happened. My sweet little 15-year-old dog got sick, and we had to make the heartbreaking decision to put him down. Then, not long after that, my dad passed away. And it was just too much. It stopped me in my tracks. It just felt super heavy, like I couldn't catch my breath. Even simple little things like checking my emails, recording an episode, posting online, all those things felt impossible. And that's the part we don't really talk about enough, because we think showing up means pushing no matter what. But sometimes showing up means admitting that, you know what? I can't today. I just need time. And that doesn't make us weak. It just makes us honest and in tune with what we need. About a month before my dad passed, I had recorded a podcast about my dad, sharing some of my struggles with him. And after he was gone, I felt this heavy guilt, like maybe I shouldn't have said the things that I said, or even thought maybe about just taking the entire podcast down altogether. But you know what? After thinking about it, I was like, you know what? That episode came from a place of honesty. It came from where I was in that moment. And that's the thing about evolution. It's not static. We grow, we change, and our perceptions shift. So I can hold love for my dad, and I can grieve him deeply and still acknowledge that, you know what? Some of our relationship was hard, but both can be true. And that doesn't make me a bad daughter. It just makes me human. So in the middle of all that pain, after losing my dog, losing my dad, and just carrying around this guilt, I felt like the ground had been ripped out from under me. And when life hits you like that, you're left with a decision. You can just keep pushing through. Do I slap on a brave face, pretend I'm okay, and force myself to just keep recording every week just so I don't break my streak? Or do I give myself permission to just stop, to breathe, to grieve, and to actually feel what I was going through instead of trying to outrun it? And I chose to pause. And let me tell you, that wasn't an easy decision because part of me felt like I was letting myself down. Like I broke my own word, broke my promise. But here's what I've also learned since then. Taking a break doesn't erase the weeks that I showed up. It doesn't erase the growth that I've had, and it doesn't erase the commitment and the impact that I've given or that it's had on me. And here's what else I discovered. Rest can be its own form of showing up. Because we've been taught to believe that showing up means pushing no matter what. That strength looks like never slowing down, never missing a beat, never letting anyone see you pause or take a break. But here's what I've learned. Sometimes showing up means admitting, you know what? I just can't today. I need more time. And you know what? That is okay. Because knowing when to rest, when to take a step back, when to give yourself a moment to breathe, that is also showing up for yourself. It's choosing to honor your limits instead of ignoring them. It's choosing honesty over pretending. So when I say show up for yourself, even when it's hard, I don't mean grind yourself into the ground. I mean, show up with compassion, show up by listening to what your body and your heart need in that moment. Sometimes that will mean action and consistency, and other times it will mean rest. But both count, both matter. Both are strength. And think about it. When you ignore your body, when you just push past your breaking point, what usually happens? You burn out. You shut down. You end up needing a bigger break later because you didn't give yourself the smaller ones along the way. But when you choose to pause, even for a moment, you're actually fueling yourself for the long haul. You're saying, hey, I matter enough to care for me today. And that shift, that's powerful because rest doesn't pull you out of your path. It just keeps you on it. So showing up isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about having the courage to just stop, to listen, and to trust that everything in the quiet, even in the pause, is still moving you forward. And you know what? It reminded me of something else that I've experienced because this isn't just about grief or work. It shows up everywhere in your life. It's kind of like starting a weight loss journey. You take that before picture, you get super motivated, you do all the things, you eat clean, you move your body, you're consistent for a little while, but then life happens and old habits creep back in, you lose your rhythm, and maybe you just stop altogether because it's so easy to think, well, I blew it. I totally failed. I'm totally giving up right now. But then a few weeks later or a month later, you start up again. And this time you last a little longer. And the next time, a little longer still. And before you know it, those restarts, they're adding up and you're building momentum and you're building strength, resilience, wisdom. And before you know it, you've reached your goal, but you've had a lot of slip-ups along the way. And you know what? That's part of the progress. And that's what showing up for yourself actually looks like. Not some perfect streak, not never stumbling, but the courage to begin again, even when you've fallen off. And grief works kind of like the same way. Healing works the same way. Mental health works the same way. Some days you feel strong, motivated, and unstoppable. Other days, just getting out of bed feels like a victory. The breaks don't erase your progress. They make your progress possible. So I just wanted to get on here and just talk about that because I know that I do preach, you know what? Keep showing up for yourself no matter what. But I want you all to know that you can take a step back, that you can break, that those moments are a part of your progress, your growth, your evolution. So, if you've been carrying guilt for needing a break, or you've been beating yourself up because you didn't stay perfectly consistent, hear me when I say this. You're not failing. You're learning. You're growing. And every single time you pick yourself back up, you're proving that your strength runs deeper than you realize. I had to remind myself of this too. Those weeks that I showed up, they still count. They still matter. And the pause I took, that matters too, because it gave me the space to breathe and to heal. Without it, I wouldn't even be sitting here with you guys right now. So let me just ask you this. Where in your life do you need to give yourself permission to just pause? Maybe it's a project you've been pushing through. Maybe it's an expectation that you've been trying to live up to. Or maybe it's just giving yourself 5 minutes of stillness in a day that never seems to end. But here's the truth. You don't lose anything by resting. You gain clarity, you gain strength, you gain the energy you need to keep moving forward. So this week, I want you to just try something. Instead of asking, how do I keep pushing? Ask yourself this, where can I slow down? Instead of forcing yourself to keep grinding, give yourself one pocket of permission to pause and without guilt. That is also showing up for yourself. And here's what I want to tell you. The pause didn't break me. It built me up. It showed me that when I come back, I wasn't starting from zero. I was starting stronger and more healed. And the same is true for you. So no matter what, you can always begin again. So if this message hit home for you, I'd love to hear your story. Send me an email at talk@evolvingwithtina.com and just tell me, where are you learning to give yourself permission to just pause? Because sharing your journey doesn't just help you, it helps another woman realize that she's not alone. And if you know someone who needs this reminder, please share this episode with her. Let's just continue to keep lifting each other up. And this week, I have a challenge for you. I want you to find one moment, just one, where you let yourself pause without guilt. It doesn't have to be huge. Maybe it's just saying no to something that drains you. Maybe it's just taking 5 quiet minutes in your car before walking into the house or walking into work. Whatever it looks like for you, give yourself that pocket of rest and remind yourself this counts as progress too. So until next time, my beautiful evolvers, keep evolving, keep glowing, and never stop showing up for yourself because you matter. Much love.